Do you feel the pulse?
Yo, Shizzy Mac, just so you know, hold make sure I'm not muted this time. Okay, I'm good. Yo, Shizzy Mac, just so you know, I see you, bro, and I thank you for making sure that we started this thing up appropriately and in a nice, timely fashion. But GNT Sports Talk, episode 148, we are back because we're never canceled, unlike the NFL Pro Bowl. That's canceled. It's about time. Yeah. My peoples, welcome back. Welcome back. ATL, I see you, bro. Good to see you here as well. My Instagram family, I'm pretty sure they loading up. Oh, Kane Digital is in the building. Good to see you as well. I'm so happy to see all my peoples right back with us. Like I said, episode 148, we have a lot to get into. We have two special segments that we're going to do today. One is with Tone. We're going to have his top 5 subjects or things that he wants to ask the panel and as well ask y'all guys. And also Bird Gang. This is Final Fantasy. That's a video game. It's football fantasy time. And who else to talk about fantasy football than the one that I know that wins almost every year? So without any other delay, Bird Gang is in the building. What's good, bro?
Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? Hey, listen, let's get right into it. Episode 148, Bird Gang, we in the building. Let's go.
Tone the promoter.
Yizzo, what's going on? It's the promoter. Yeah, it's me. You don't see the shades. I ain't cross-eyed. But let's get into it. Episode 148, man. Let's get it.
This is the first episode without the shades. Hell
Yeah,
no.
man.
It has to be.
It's gonna be a wild night then. It's gonna be a wild night.
Man,
But
especially with these topics. Let's go, man.
Yeah, I want the people to look me in the eyes, you know what I'm saying, when I ask these questions. You know what I'm saying? Let you know how I really feel about this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
yeah.
King Digital put the eye emojis like.
Yeah, man, I'm
Right.
tripping, man.
Oh.
And you know what's crazy is they here in the crib, man. I'm just lazy. I don't feel like going to get them. So they definitely around, but you know what I'm saying? I'm on my joint tonight, man. What's up?
Let's get it, bro.
All good, no problem. Look, without any other doubts and slowing down the process, Tone, let's get right into your questions, bro, because we already kind of pre-saw the questions. Let's just kind of warn y'all. And we're in for a very, very deep conversation. If that was a pause moment, I don't even care. But that's the type of conversation that we're going to have today. So Tone is in your corner.
Yeah, well, first off, I want to start off by saying, hey, Cat, man, you ain't got to let the people know that y'all seen the questions already, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to ask these questions and y'all give y'all articulate answers. And they be like, damn, them boys is good, man. They good on the spot, man. You know what I'm saying? They know what they talking about. You know what I'm
I
saying?
ain't say
Because
all the questions. Just
hey,
the one
hey,
question you had
you,
to pre-warn us on.
you sure? You
You had to
sure?
be pre-warned on.
No, you didn't. Dude. This is a show. We talk about sports, and we gonna get into it. You know what I'm saying? They ain't
You
got to
got it.
know. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got to know. I mean, y'all see these questions already. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Again, we prepare for shows, man. This is what we do, and you know me, man. I like to bring it raw and uncut, man. You know, talk about what the people don't want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? You got to say some things that the people might not want to say. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't that kind of podcast. You know what I'm saying? We gonna see something in the sports world. Ain't like I'm bringing up something that's not in the sports world. It is not even so much that it's not is in the sports world. It's a part of our world. Period. You know what I mean? Some of these things. You know what I'm saying? So, like Cap said, man, Tones top 5 or Tones 5 questions, whatever it is. But just tap into the segment with me, man. Question number 1 is, you know what I mean? We got to get things started and get it started on the right foot. So, Minnesota Lynx coach Cheryl Reeve wore a T-shirt and it said trans kids belong. And it was during a game against the Indiana Fever, which is obviously Caitlin Clark's team. So you know it's going to be a lot of people watching. So the reaction that the coach wanted to get, she got. And of course, that sparked attention across the league and the sports world. Now, fellas, I know y'all have seen what this guy Enos Cancer has done. What do y'all think he's doing? What do y'all, or how do y'all feel about his approach to the situation? And how do y'all feel about transgenders in sports overall? Cap, I'll let you go first.
Of course, you're gonna have me go ahead and go first on this subject, right? So,
Yeah, because you've seen the question already. So go ahead.
oh, for before I go ahead and answer, all the way from London, hello, well, England, hello to you. Thank you for being here with us today. We appreciate you. I'm so tired of this topic. I get it, but bro, we're only here once a week, and we didn't get a chance to talk about this subject. So, hey, we got to get into it. Hello, what's good? What's good? Hi, how you doing? And Shizzy Max said, "Bird Gang." Just kind of laughed. All right, are we talking boxing? We'll see. We'll see. Keep on tuning in. We'll see what happens. All right. So, all right. So, how I feel about this subject, and this subject is a real tight one because, like you said, in this whole entire uh, the element of this world right now, everything wants to be accepted. Everything wants to be, right there. Everything is either if you don't agree with what the world say, is 100% wrong. Now, I'm firsthand. I believe that if you were born a certain way, that's the sport that you need to play in. And I speak that way from the experience of me being the father of four kids, naturally from me, five kids if you go ahead and include my stepson. And my daughters were playing field hockey. My daughters was playing basketball while during their high school years. How would I feel if I saw Malik turn himself to Malika and go ahead and start playing basketball, like competitively with my daughters? Now, mind you, my eldest daughter is on like 5'4". And what if the boy is like 6'3" at the age of 16? It's not, I personally don't believe that that's right or fair. So, in my opinion, when it comes to that, I see nothing wrong with being separated. Now, if you want to go ahead and live that lifestyle, I see nothing wrong with that at all. But I'll see having it separated. But Bird Gang, what do you think? I'm gonna go ahead and get to these subjects, to these comments.
Ah, man. Like I said on IG, I put the full disclaimer, talk to me nice for a reason, because this is something that honestly, like I get the whole thing of having, being able to do what you want to do as a person, but when it comes to competitive sports and stuff like that, and depending on, the landscape of a job, even from a job standpoint, I feel like there's certain things that need to be done by a specific gender, and that's I stand on that. Especially when it comes to sports, like you gave the example of a, a, a male transitioning into a female and then playing against females. That's something that's like the main thing. But then you also have from the flip side, if there was a female transitioning into a male and trying to play a male sport, then you kind of get some leniency there. It's more so on the opposite side, just like you used with from the male going to a female. But it's just something that honestly, like, I don't even know why we even at this point in society and talking about it, because of the fact that, listen, man, I just don't understand, like why we there. Growing up, when we had specific sports, they would list them as co-ed sports for a reason. And you always had boys, baseball, girls softball, like for a reason. And that call me old school. I'm standing on that. That's where I'm at with it.
Yo, so I seen that person right there. They put up a comment a couple comments ago and said something about about Jews. Now that is definitely a rabbit hole that if you go down, boy, you will see that that comment on point. You know what I mean? That comment really on point, yo. Like they control or at least try to control a lot of things. You know what I mean? Other than sports too. You know what I mean? So that right there, I like that comment right there because that's something else. That's another conversation. Let's just say that. You know what I'm saying? But what I'll say is, man, and I'm sorry to take it to this level or making this kind of comparison. Is to me is it's like the same thing how they view like the bathroom situation. You know what I'm saying? Like if you born with whatever part you born with, that's the bathroom you should go to. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get deeper into, having surgery, after surgery and all that stuff, like I'm still, man, whatever you born with, that's what you should be classified as. Now, what you want to portray or what you want to live by all means. I mean, like it's America, right? They say we all got rights and all that, right? Cool. So you can go ahead and do that. But Minnesota Lynx coach Cheryl Reeve, she wore a shirt that said trans kids belong. They do in their own league. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's something that people
Mm-hmm.
want to push and we don't want to stop them from, playing the sport, everybody who play in that sport should be the same thing, even though you're transitioning into being a woman but you were a man, everybody in that league should be that way. You know what I'm saying? And then it would be a fair, you know what I'm saying? Won't be questioned. And I seen that person. I don't know if it was the same person, but somebody, put a comment saying that Enos Cancer is trolling, and for sure he's trolling, and he's just doing this to pretty much not so much go against the her T-shirt and saying they belong, but he's just saying look how stupid, you know what I'm saying, this could seem as if you trying to say, just because you identify a certain way that you should be able to play in this sport. Like, and it's not even just basketball, WNBA. Like I seen something as far as boxing, went like a guy, transitioning into being a woman, but men still builds testosterone. Yes, they give out the estrogen levels, they could do this, but men still have testosterone. You can't get rid of that. You know what I'm saying? Like as a man, like I said, you could do the estrogen and build all that up to start to feel and have the traits and mannerisms of a woman, but it's not going to change like anything. So that's how I feel about it. Like I'm not here to debate whether what I'm saying, let them in, let them out, whatever the case, this and that. But if they belong in their own league, and that's fine. Like what I'm saying, it was I forget what I seen a story where it was that a trans boy was a girl. They was in high school, and he was like dominating. Like it was just crazy that these other girls they couldn't do nothing with him. And then I think they signed a petition in the city it was in, and they like said he couldn't play anymore because it was just unfair. You know what I mean? And like we said it jokingly, like if LeBron would classify as a woman, could he go ahead and play in the WNBA? And that's what Enos Cancer, like I said, is really just doing. And you know what I'm saying, doing it all for troll. I don't think it ever will be allowed in any sport, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they won't be allowed to play in obviously the sport that they say they want to be playing, identifying as the sex that they really are not. So that's a crazy topic. Yeah, I know. Dude said he's tired of it. Talking about it. I am as well. You know what I'm saying. But like you said, we haven't spoke on the topic, and I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to get your guys opinion on that. So
Now,
that's that.
am
Yeah,
I?
nah.
Am,
The
I'm
other
sorry. Go
thing that I had was gonna be the why. Like, what's the why behind it? Like, you know what I mean? You if your end goal is to play the sport, why don't you just play in the male sport and just be there? Like, I mean, I don't get, I, it's just so confusing, bro. I'm just like, yo,
Mhm.
just it's been like this for a long time. It should just stay that way, and there shouldn't be any exceptions at this point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, all right, like if you're dominant, like you were saying, he was dominating. Like, all right, why you not playing in the boys team? You know what I mean? Like that way, you could really see like if you're like that would be my thing. Is like, yo, you're sitting here dominating, yeah, because you're playing with women, bro. Like you wouldn't be doing that, you know what I mean? Or is it because you're not being accepted, on the men's league or whatever? But it's just so goofy that we even having to sit here and talk about this conversation, and then you're gonna have, you know, a small percentage of people that want to take what you say, twist it around, or
Right.
say whatever, and it's like, listen, it's not even about all that, you know what I mean? Because you always gonna have one, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, bro, like soon as you start putting yourself in that situation when it comes to your children and stuff like that, it's like, yo, like I'm not that like me personally, like if that was one of my kids or someone that I knew, I'm not even letting them put themselves in that situation. Cause just like you said, like, okay, you had the young man transition to a female, dominate the basketball league, and then look what happened. Everybody signed the position. Now he can't play. Now you in a whole other situation where with mental health, that shit is real. You know what I'm saying? So now you thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna support them, let them do that, and then you're gonna have so many more people against the situation that you put them in that situation.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you. And look, and if that's your lifestyle, do you? If that's what you want to be, do you? I have absolutely no problem with you wanting to be who you are, why you are, and when you are. Do you have fun? I also think, I mean, if it comes down to it, in all honesty, and I'm surprised that this didn't happen yet. Why isn't there a league that you can actually have both sexes in? You know what I mean? That just a league with just ball players. It doesn't matter what it is. Just go ahead and mix them up. Everybody can go ahead and draft who they want, how they want, and what have you. And then something like that may actually be beneficial. But to answer this question, because I was actually kind of interested, uh, different 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 play sets. I would say different skill sets. I would say rugby players are tough as nails, man. Those boys are just crazy. But I can't see a whole lot of them throwing a ball like 50, 60 yards down the field when all they do is throw backwards for 10 yards. You know what I mean?
Yo,
So
look at his next comment, bro. This is what I'm talking about. Yo, look, Tom, I'm not showering with a dude with boobs. No way. Yo, oh man.
now that
Well, it's not a
that
dude
could
if
be
he got
good too.
boobs.
Yeah. Well, once again, whole different conversation. Whole different conversation. How about soccer? But the problem is, right? There was even a video that I remember seeing. It was like I would say like a younger male team going against adult women soccer players, and just the speed and stuff. There was a difference even with that too. So even that shit is a little off too, bro. Like everything is just off. So.
Like I said, man, what my stance on it is, yo, whatever you was born, that's the sport you could play in. You can identify whatever it is that you want to.
Mhm.
That's your right. That's your right. But if you was born a female and you want to transition into being a man when you play them sports, go ahead and do it in a women's league. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if they can shoot you up with any testosterone and make you even more of a woman than you are. You know what I'm saying? Even though, like I said, you're living the life as a man. You know what I'm saying now, but it's different. Then what if you go and then okay, and then what if that happened and they let a trans woman who transitioned to being a man go into boxing and dude beat the bullshit out of her. Then it's going, he beat up a girl. He beat up, did this to a woman. And I'm like, wait, whoa. You got to pick one side. Like, no, like
Mhm.
he can't be both sexes in the ring. You know, if he get beat up. But then it's like it would be different if he beat the man. You know what I'm saying? And then it was,
Right.
oh, you know what I'm saying? Look at that. That's
Hmm.
why they should be like so. It's just to stay away from all that kind of stuff, man. Like I said, yo, whatever you born with, that's the sport you should play.
And my man here just some really good comments, man. He said everyone's taking testosterone in sports. Even Formula One drivers take testosterone. And well, That's a whole nother sport too. The Formula One drivers. But you're right. Yeah, you're 100% right. And Sean, thanks for telling me that you was joking, bro. I appreciate you. All right, look, that was golly, a 20-minute conversation. Tone, what's next, man?
All right, number two. Number two. So y'all are obviously seen it or just knowing that they obviously released the latest NBA Hall of Fame induction. And based on what I've seen and who got selected this year, the Hall of Fame is becoming a travesty. So, what's the real criteria you guys think is needed to make the Hall of Fame? And do you agree with the latest NBA inductees, Joel?
Now, I definitely don't agree with the inductees. I mean, I just think I don't know if they just be pressed to just somebody has to get in, but I mean, like they already got like a specific head count every year. The same thing with the MLB. It's the same thing where I feel like, you know what I mean? They're just trying to like constantly like just get certain people in. And it's like, yo, like I don't even know, like, especially like Doc Rivers, man. Like I don't care what you say. He had the talent to win. Like I'm not saying he like you seen the end of his career. Obviously, we got to see it firsthand here with the Sixers, but it was like, yo, like he wasn't nothing really special. Like I don't think he should have got in. You know what I mean? I know he went with KG, Paul Pierce, but it's like, yo, that team was loaded. You know what I mean? So there's a bunch of guys where I feel like, you know, like we mentioned it. I think it was 2 episodes ago where we when we mentioned Russell Westbrook, where triple double. Now him specifically, someone like that that has exceeded milestones and different broke so many records and stuff like that. You know, as a player, collectively throughout the whole NBA as they've been keeping stats and stuff like that. That's somebody who should definitely get recognized and was the best at doing something that they keep track of statistically with the triple doubles. But you know, some of these guys is just like I just feel like they just trying to put, and I don't want to say anybody in because some of these guys obviously play at a high level, but you know what I mean? Like you're not separating these guys, you know, from doing something at the upper echelon, you know what I mean? Like compared to these other guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead. What
I,
you think, Cap?
yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm just going over the list, right? Uh, Out of this list that I see, it's only one name that I say like, okay, belongs there, and that's Candace Parker. I believe she belongs in the Hall of Fame. Besides Della Don, I can say when it comes to her contribution, when it comes to just the sport of basketball, college, going to her professional, I would say like yes. Mike D'Antoni, isn't Doc Rivers still coaching? Eh, no, oh, he got kicked out.
Last year was his last
Yeah, he
year.
got fired.
So
I don't think nobody picked him up.
like, I isn't it supposed to be a time frame before
Yeah,
you like are
I guess
eligible to
as a
get
coach,
in?
yeah, I guess as a
Now I
coach
think
that much
that
don't matter. That much
yeah, I
don't
think
matter as a coach.
in football is like that. In baseball, I think you
6
gotta wait a
years,
certain wait a certain
right?
amount of time. But I don't think in basketball, I guess not, because he was just coaching last year with the Bucks.
Facts. That's what I'm saying. Like he was just coaching. How in the world is he already in the like in the Hall of Fame? And you're 100% right, yo. I I get I get people like Jackson. All right, no, coach of the Lakers as well as the Bulls. Now, granted, he probably had two of the best teams. You know, talking about Phil Jackson. I'm sorry, two of the best teams out there ever. Like kind of like in history, right?
Right, but
I,
you got to go to different organization, different landscape, different fan base.
mhm.
Like to do that with two different organizations is crazy. You know what I mean? And win
Mm,
multiple times. It
correct.
wasn't it
So
wasn't just like I one with Chicago, one over here. You know what I mean?
correct. And that's my biggest thing right now, Pauls, is the fact that you have Phil Jackson, for example, what was able to go ahead and go to these two different teams and win. How many teams have Doc River took to a championship and won?
Yeah,
One.
that's what.
And he
And it was loaded. The team was loaded. Like you had
okay,
all these
let's
guys that was peaking and all that. So it's like I don't
okay, let's go over just real quick off the top of our heads. Let's go over all the Hall of Famers that he coached. Future and present Hall of Famers. So we have Ray Allen, right? Paul Pierce,
know. All Pierce,
Kevin Garnett, right? Chris Paul. I think Blake is going to make it in, even though I don't see it happening, but I think Blake is going to make it in,
Harden.
right?
You gonna have Harden?
Hart, I think Embiid is going to make it into, surprisingly. Uh, Maxi, depending on how his career keep on going, right? You have Giannis. You have Dame Leonard. You have 10, like 10 Hall of Famers that he actually coached. That's just off the top of my head, real quick. He has one championship. How is he a Hall of Famer? I don't get it. I don't at least that fast. Like first ballot. Like I don't know if this is the first time he was on the ballot. He a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like for real, man. This one I think is a joke, man.
Yeah,
It's a
man.
joke.
As far as what the criteria should be, I mean, I think it should be whatever this sport is, whatever position it is, whatever it is that you do in that sport. For the amount of time that you did that for that sport, it should have been top tier. You know what I mean? Top tier with a
Hmm.
little bit of a little bit of championships maybe mixed in there. You held weight, you got a lot of wins, you accomplished a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? No, everybody can't win the championship, every year. But as long as you was there, as long as people knew who you were, your name, and like, I mean, everything that you held, that's what you know, the Hall of Fame should be, man. People really hearing that name, respecting it, fearing it, you know what I'm saying? Knowing that when you went up against this person, this player, this team, this coach, you was in for it. You know what I mean? Like every time, and obviously throughout your career. We talk about Doc Rivers. We talk about D'Antoni. And I also think it was a blasphemous that Mark Few got in there. Now I went back and looked at all of their accomplishments, and what I'm saying, I don't want to turn this into a 20-minute question. You know what I'm saying? But like Doc Rivers, I like, and then some of the people I do believe that got inducted in was a little bit of also what they did as a player if they were a coach, and then
Okay.
maybe and for some of the women, I think it was maybe a little bit more geared to what they did in college, because Della
Hmm.
Don, Candace Parker, Shamika Holsclaw, like they was all beasts. You know what I'm saying, in college, and then
Yeah.
they came to the
Right.
WNBA. You know what I'm saying, they made some noise too. Like, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Obviously, we ain't got to fact check, or we ain't got to put Candace Parker's resume out there. If we obviously watch the sport, we know what
Facts.
that held. Della
Yeah.
Don was WNBA, champion, had a 10-year solid career. You know what I mean? 16 and like seven. Didn't play one year, the COVID year. She opted out, because of the, COVID and everything. Shamika Holsclaw led the league in scoring 2002. She led the league in rebounding 2002, 2003. Was like a six-time All Star. You know what I mean? Like, so did a thing in the sport. But Doc Rivers, man, and like I said, D'Antoni has a losing playoff record. It's just a little bit over 50% as a wins as a coach. Doc Rivers, yeah, he's six all time in wins. 1 in 14, 112 playoff record, like Joel mentioned, that one championship with Boston. Yo, so out of the 26 years that Doc Rivers coached, he made the playoffs 21 times. 21 times, reached the finals. What, twice? Did he get there twice? He got there twice with Boston, right? They lost to the Lakers the one time
Yes.
he was the coach. So, you know what I mean?
Right.
He took him to the championship twice. You know what I'm saying? So that's great. That's great. That's a feat that he has. That's great. But he also holds the playoff record for the most losses when the team is up 3-1. You know what I'm saying? Like 3-1. He has blown a series three times, being up 3-1. And then when his team has a chance to win the closeout game, he is 16-31. So, um, to me, he has a lot of blemishes, more blemishes on his record than good. I don't know if the championship is the reason why it put him over. into the Hall of Fame because of maybe who he coached. You know what I'm saying? Like we named the players that was on that Boston team. And shit, we even forget about Rajon Rondo. You know what I'm saying? Who probably is going to be a Hall of Famer as well. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Who he had. So, but it's like to me, you diminishing some of these Hall of Famers by putting people in like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like you said, like if we 20 years from now we telling some youngsters about Phil Jackson and Doc Rivers, and I tell them that Phil Jackson was way better coach than Doc Rivers, but they were like, but damn, Doc Rivers in the Hall of Fame just like Phil Jackson. So he had to be as good because he's in. So they're like, is it different tiers in the Hall of Fame? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it? Oh no, he just got in the Hall of Fame, but this guy is up here. Like, no, that's a class. You're in a class on your own. When they put people in the Hall of Fame in football, they don't give them different color jackets, do they? They all get the same jacket. So it's
Hmm.
not levels to it. So I think the criteria stinks. I think they're just putting anybody in there. I don't know if it's because of the longevity they have, whatever sport that is. So they like honoring them for that reason. Like you said, since 2008 until like just last year, Doc Rivers stunk as a coach. You know what I
Yep.
mean? He had all the talent in the world and couldn't get nothing done, but he got rewarded and put in the Hall of Fame. So that's crazy. NBA got to do better. You know what I'm saying with that, and sports as a whole has to do better. Like I said, with putting these players in the upper echelon part of the sport. So they got to stop
Uh, Not the case at all, bro. Trust me, that's not the case at all. We talking about a certain subject. Trust me, we appreciate you being here, and I'm showing every single one of your comments. And to answer your question originally, this is your first time on here with us, man. Keep on logging in with us every Wednesday. And the more we get to know you, the more we want you on the panel. Because there's a couple of people that we have that's on here, we have on the panel as well, because they've been rocking with us for a long time. So to be on the panel, keep on rocking with us. Trust me, we'll get you on there, man. Trust me. Just like we're trying to get Shizzy Mack on here, just like First Lady Taya is in the building. No, man. This keep on rocking with us, man. We'll see you on here real soon. But trust me, your comments is being appreciated. We appreciate you.
it. All right. So number
Ty,
3.
uh, hold on, hold on. NBA need to have like Hall of Fame inductions like the NFL and like baseball. Baseball don't care if your feelings are hurt. Like baseball don't care. Like Pete Rose is going to get in now that he's dead, right? You know what I mean? Like baseball don't care. NFL, like, well, Drew Pearson was crying for like 15 years before he got in. The NFL don't care. It's the top, what is it, the creme de la creme. Those are the ones that get in. And I think the NBA needs to be exactly that way because you got enough people that's going to be retiring. You can go ahead and bring in, have a class of like maybe like two or three people. That's like baseball, just like the NFL. You know what I mean? Have those people, and that's it. And look at this list. It's like 10 people on this Hall of Fame list right now. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. But I'm sorry. I had to go on that tirade. But yeah. So I'm sorry, Tom. Go ahead.
All right. Number 3, an immaculate inning. Have you ever heard of it? An immaculate inning. Taj Bradley of the Minnesota Twins just accomplished that for the first time in team history. Now, my thought behind that would be, what would be even crazier than an immaculate inning as a pitcher? What you think, Joe?
I definitely think three pitches, three consecutive pitches, three ground outs because the your pitch count would be three and three ground outs end the inning, three pitches, second inning. Like that's the only thing that could top it. I know obviously three straight pitches, three strikeouts, three batters. Like it looks nice on the stat line for sure. But in today's game where over 100 innings is crazy now all of a sudden. Not like the old school game, you know what I mean? But definitely I would
Mhm.
say that would probably trump it in the era that we're in now.
Cap.
Now, just in case for the ones in the back that don't know exactly what you're referring to, Tone, I do have a
Mhm.
video of exactly what my man just did. And here it is.
Never been
Not saying a thing.
Twins pitcher to throw an immaculate inning. Can Taj Bradley make it happen right now for the first time in Minnesota Twins history? 0-2 on Bolte. He struck him out looking at history tonight.
And the
that
last
was a
pitch
ball.
was 100 miles an
Too.
hour.
That was a little low.
Yo, so
I just won't recommend that. But
yeah, no, what's funny about you saying that, Joe? So somebody in the comments was like, yeah, the ump understood the assignment because they was like, that was a ball.
Yep.
yeah,
But you know
Yo.
they got replay. They got replay. So I don't know if clearly I don't know if they went and used that because clearly they walked off the field. They would have to call it. Now, for it to be the first time happening in Minnesota's history, obviously they probably didn't want to go ahead and review that.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Get it out of there. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know. A lot of people say they think that was a ball. Now, but I also seen in the comments, now this is gonna mess your mind up because I've been trying to think about how this can happen. Somebody said that it can actually happen with 2 pitches thrown, and they was like trying to think about it. It can happen. Now the only thing that I came up with is don't think they would still count a hit like a hit batter as a pitch, right?
what a
Like
hit batter?
if you throw a pitch and you hit a batter, that still should count as a pitch, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Yes.
So how could you get somebody on base with no outs without throwing a pitch?
without throwing a pitch.
Because I know nowadays they can just essentially walk somebody,
Right.
but they don't actually throw pitches anymore. Because obviously that's
Yeah,
they want to shorten the game up. Is that
Oh,
the way? Is that the way where you can do it?
how about by balking?
Balking just advances the anybody that's on base.
On base, no, but the thing about if it was see, I guess
Yeah,
if we're
you're right.
talking immaculate, I guess if we're talking immaculate, you got to really think about it with maybe no blemishes or no, like no alters.
Yeah, it's like perfect. Right.
Yeah, like a hit batter and a balk. That to me that would be like a violation. So that would be like somebody getting on, but on a fault that you made. When the dude was in the 2 pitches, I was like, I don't know.
I don't see
don't know
that.
if that I don't know if that can happen. They probably just threw that in
No.
there to start to create a
So
conversation.
the conversation.
Yeah.
I was trying to think about it, but I don't know.
Right.
Hey, look, I mean, what an amazing feat that is. 3 batters up, 3 pitches each, 9 pitches out of there. That is incredible. I mean, like you said, Joe, I definitely agree. If it's like 1 pitch, ground out, second pitch, ground out, third pitch, ground out, and then like that would be like amazing too. But I can see the impossibleness of that. Just like in my opinion, just like having that pitcher with that perfect game, like that's it. Like that's almost utterly impossible too. I mean, that perfect game. That's like almost having a whole bunch of what my man just did with those three batters in a row for almost a whole entire game. You know what I mean? So I would say, obviously the perfect thing for me as a pitcher, I would see would be that perfect game.
Yeah, that's a
But
big flex though, man. 3 strikeouts, 9 pitches. That's
it
crazy.
is, bro. It is. But 2 of them, like y'all said, was like balls. So like I saw another
Yeah.
one.
But see,
One was
yeah.
high and tight, and it was like I don't think that was a ball, bro. But
The umpire has somewhere to be. He like, let's go.
facts,
It's straight.
big
Yeah,
facts.
let's go.
No, we I know we was talking about it via text message, but maybe the ump had that better and that prop better and that make it happen.
Mm.
9 consecutive strikeouts.
Maybe he had that play in there. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Oh, it can happen." Sure. Yeah, he cashed right on out. You know what I'm
No, the
saying?
FBI looked at that. Whoa, hold on a second.
Right. All right, number 4. Now, obviously, people are seeing all the buzz around college football about the players being drafted in camp, getting released, and the big question is, should they or can they go back to school? Now, some conferences are letting players, return back to play from the NFL who was cut from preseason teams. But today, I seen that the SEC and the Big Ten has officially banned players from returning to their conference to play football. And they did say that they're a lot they're banning the players to play in the league, but schools in that league can accept the players to come play for the program. They can do that. But if they do allow them to play, there will be fines and suspensions handed out. And the coach, they said that the coach would be subject to missing 50% of the games, being suspended for 50% of the games. So that's pretty much, and they pay these coaches salaries. So they ain't going to
Right.
accept these players, obviously, to play, and then with the chance of the coach not being there for half the season. So clearly,
Right.
ain't nobody gonna go to those schools. Like I said,
Hmm.
schools are accepting players and allowing them to play, but those two conferences are not. But what are y'all thoughts about the whole entire thing in period in general? The people who are leaving college, having eligibility, being able to go back, being cut from the NFL teams. What's y'all thoughts? Cap, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm so old school to the hills. Like if you don't make the team, you're done, man. Look, you can go back to school for your degree. You're not going to be playing because daggone well these players think, oh, I can go back to college and go and still collect from this NIL money. You know what I mean? It's like no, like your time is done. You know what I mean? You got be like everybody else. And look, I understand you have a dream to go ahead and play in the NFL. That's why you left. Now, I know some of these players that's like, trying to go back to school, going by what I'm told, and I don't know for sure. So I'm not going to put out the names that I've read because I don't know for sure if it's factual or not. But some of these is like fourth and fifth year, like seniors that left. You know what I mean? They try to go ahead and they try to go ahead and get into the NFL. Wasn't successful, and then trying to go ahead and get back. So this once you out, man. And I think it's always been that way. Maybe you listening to your own self and your family instead of like the professionals that's out there. Because I'm pretty sure that it was somebody that was out there was like, you're not ready. You need to stay in this program for another year or another 2 years, and then you may be drafted. You may actually have better results, and you may actually make it onto a team better. These people want to jump gun real quick. You know what I mean? And I mean, those are the end results when you don't play your cards correctly. But that's just my opinion. Of course, what do you think, Bergen?
Nah, I'm with you on that, man. I just don't understand like where first off, like them being accepted back to the college team is just ridiculous, man. I just think once you make that decision, that's why before it was a big decision where, some of the
Mhm.
guys, enter the draft. That's why we will wait. We are like, yo, we don't know if they're gonna enter the draft or not. You know what I mean? And now, and it's weird because now is even more of a reason and an incentive for you to stay in college with being able to get NIL deals and not be worried about, like if you're having a tough time to make ends meet, whatever your situation is. Now you have
Mhm.
the ability to sit there and, like I would personally tell someone if I knew, like, listen, bro, if you're not, top three rounds, why don't you just stay in college for another year? Get some more time under your belt, get some more game time, see if you could climb up the rankings. And you know what I mean? Like you could probably be a second rounder next year, or who knows, you might develop and be a first rounder. But anybody that's in that fifth or sixth round threshold and has the ability to stay in college, like just stay. Like, you know what I mean? Once you make that decision to enter the draft, like it's like, bro, that's the point of no return. To your point, they could go back, for the schooling and get their degrees and stuff like that. But to go back and play is like, how do you face that? Like it's like, yo, I took a crack at the NFL. Oh, I guess I'm back. Am I starting coach? Like what? Like nah.
Right.
Now you're prolonging the development of these other young guys that just saw you leave, and now you open the opportunity for someone else there, and then now you're trying to go back, double back on it. It's like to me, it's something that I clearly don't agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah, now see, I'm gonna take it different. I think otherwise. I think it's a great, thing for these players to be able to do. Because you take a gamble on
Just
yourself.
like
You
him.
try to put yourself you put yourself in a league that you think you could play in. The league we know every league is hard to play in. It's tough to play in. You know what I'm saying? You might think you got the skill set. You might think you got what it takes. You know what I mean to play in there. But when you get to that game, you see how different it is. You see how much faster it is. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn it. You got to pick it up. Now my stance on it is for the players that do have eligibility to go back and play, not a fifth or sixth or
Hmm.
senior who already then exposed their time to play and they don't have any kind
Right.
of eligibility. I'm not talking about them guys. I'm talking about if you was a junior and you have a senior year of eligibility, or even if you was a senior and you got a fifth year that you could have played in because you was medically registered or you know what I'm saying, whatever year. You know what I'm saying? I think
Hmm.
they should go back. Now, I don't know if it's so much of them going back to even the same school that they came from, because I think at that point you may have to get in the transfer portal, you know what I'm saying, and try to go to whatever school it is that that may want you, or you know what I'm saying, where you can go in. Hey man, you know what I mean? Get your skills up. Unless you want to stay in the league, well, at least try to stay in the league and be on the practice squad. But maybe you can get more money on an NIL deal. You go back to school. You know what I'm saying? Build up your talent, and then coming out that next season, you tune up whatever it is. Because I'm sure the coaches in the league tell you what to work on, or they tell you what you lacking, and then you go back to school. You work on that. You come back the next season. You may have a better, camp to make that NFL team. And shit, man, these players ain't. I don't think any player will go back just for school. You know what I'm saying? These dudes is going to go back. You know what I'm saying? For the sport of it. Maybe later in their career or after they finish playing and they retired, they go back to try to get that degree that they, never obtained. But I think, like I said, I think it's a good thing.
Are these
To let
guys
these
walk
players
ons
go.
or are they drafted players, like late round draft picks? Because I really didn't look into it too much. Because
It's like I don't even know if these players even got drafted.
yeah,
You know what
so
I'm
they
saying? Like they
probably
could have
just
probably just
went to
got
try
signed.
out. Yeah,
They
they
probably just got signed to the practice squad. They probably didn't get drafted. You know what I mean? Like
right,
they might have put
Hmm.
their name into the draft to get drafted,
and
just
then
didn't get
yeah,
drafted, but still got signed. Just like the NBA, just like the
right,
summer league. It'd be a whole bunch of dudes that don't get drafted, but they be all in the summer league. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like stuff like
But they
Hmm.
that.
got a
So
G League for that. You know what I mean?
right,
They
right, yeah.
just
The
end up going
NFL,
there.
yeah.
Right.
NFL ain't got obviously no junior league or nothing like that to get them right. You know what I mean? So like I said, I'm for it. I'm with that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I'm just
Letting them go.
curious to get more intel on that as far as like, say they got drafted at sixth or seventh round, they didn't make the team. Now they go back to college. Do they get to re-enter the draft? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
And
that's the questions that
Well,
I
if
have.
they
I
if
don't
they
know.
let them, I would say if they let them go back to school, yeah.
yes,
Then of course
Yeah,
they gotta be able to
yeah.
be put back in the draft.
You
Yeah,
reinstated like from square one. That's crazy.
yeah.
and some of those players, going by what the research that I went into, is exactly that. You know what I mean? Those players that went ahead, that may got drafted late, or they got that free agency call, like, hey, look, we saw your tape, blah blah, we didn't draft you, but come on, still go ahead, come
Right.
on to the team, so you can go ahead and see if you can go ahead and be that tryout and see if you can go ahead and make the team. And it's like, all right, I did that. You didn't make it, or I'm going back to school. And that's where, in my opinion, that's where it becomes tough. You know what I mean? I get it, Tone, definitely good point of view. I definitely understand, like, it gives them another chance. But in the same token, somebody was leading these young men the wrong way when it comes to, like, oh yeah, you ready. Yeah, you ready. Apparently not. He was not ready. You know what I mean? And it's okay to go ahead and still get the bag while you're in school with that NIL deal, you know what I mean, and work it out that way. Because you're right. Like, what if Malik was waiting for Bobby to finally get drafted to finally leave? Now he just got promised by the coach, I'm the starter running back, blah 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 blah, and all of a sudden it's running. Bobby wants to go ahead and go back to the team. That's tough,
Well, that's what
man.
I
Like,
said. But I don't,
it's
I don't know if they're
progression.
going back to the schools that they're not saying that they're going back to the schools that they
Same
came from.
schools, right?
They
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 just
But
go
they
it's
back
they
to
about
the
the
saying if
school.
they
same.
have a chance to go back to school, and that's on the college. That would be on college. That means that you don't believe in Malik if you letting somebody else come in and
Or
play in that
Malika.
position.
Take his job.
Yeah,
Or
right,
Malika.
right. So it's bigger than all of that. You know what I'm saying? I was just thinking that to let them do play a little bit more.
I
Nothing
got
Yeah.
you.
else.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
All
All
right. So
right,
number
last
five,
question.
last question. Now, for all
This is
y'all
good.
Eagles fans, does Jalen Hurts have to be the MVP of the team to get a contract extension? And what would be the worst case scenario he doesn't get a contract extension? Cat.
See, in my opinion, he's getting that extension regardless because he was able to go ahead and bring this city something that no other starting quarterback was able to go ahead and bring this city, and that's that championship. Now, it's already in the works, supposedly, that, like when he first signed his second contract, which is the larger one, that in the end of this season, that was going to officially work on his new contract. There was already, like, when they first signed him for the larger contract, that was what was in the talkings. So I think regardless, they're going to go ahead and re-sign him because of what he was able to do and what he was able to bring. But just like every other thing, it's like, all right, well, what have you done for me lately? If it goes bad, if he has one of those really bad trifling season, I think they'll re-sign him, but it's not going to be for the money that it should actually be. But I think regardless, they're going to sign him.
Yeah, definitely think it's gonna get done, man. I just for everyone that constantly consistently doubts Hurts, it's just crazy to me. I mean, like I know it's that IG thing flowing around. I showed a few people. I sent it to you guys on how many different records and milestones he's accomplished, whether it was the short period of time in the NFL, all the different offensive coordinators changes. It's so many different things that you look at, and for whatever reason, people continue to like doubt him. You know what I mean? And my thing is like, well, what's the contingency? The contingency plan if you don't feel like Hurts is
Mm-hmm.
like, all right, then you reset it. Now you're looking at possibly throwing your name in the draft. Obviously, we're not. They're not trading quarterbacks. Not no franchise quarterbacks. You gotta wait for one to go that's disgruntled, that
Mm-hmm.
a team moved on from, and hopefully you could put together a good contract to get a free agent. That's the only way you could get another franchise quarterback. So my thing is like, I just don't see it happening. I mean, as far as like him getting, I think it's going to get done. I don't feel like I think that's a lot of outsized noise for whatever reason. Just like the views that he got off of interception, it was like over like 15 million views him throwing a pick, during practice, and it's like, bro, like for whatever reason, is a different playing field and a different like benchmark, when it comes to Hurts all across the league. You know what I mean? Like if you look at all these other quarterbacks that they think highly of, and haven't even scratched the surface on accomplishing what Hurts has been able to accomplish, it's like, yo, like you can't sit there and like, turn your shoulder on him and not pay him. And I think it's going to be for big money, whether he has a good season or not, due to the fact that
Oh,
it is set like that. That is, yo, you kind of like figure out where they're at on the rack and stack, and you get that Kirk Cousins contract regardless.
Yeah.
so
So to answer the question, does Jalen Hurts have to be the MVP to get a contract extension? No, no, I don't think he has to be
Nope.
the MVP to
mm,
get a contract extension. And then the second question I asked was, what would be the worst case scenario he doesn't get a contract extension? And it would have to be if he was running and his legs flew off and went into the stands and they couldn't find it to
Right.
reattach it. You know what I'm saying? So,
mm-hmm.
um, depending on how the season goes, regardless, I think yes, they're going to sign him, like you said, for the contract extension, for just for what's on his resume. You know what I mean? Already up until this point, it would be one. He's led the team to the playoffs every year as a starter. So even if it didn't happen this year, that'd be one out of what, 6 or 7. So it ain't like it's a bad thing that he wouldn't make it. If he had a bad season statistically and they did horribly record wise, maybe he won't get top dollar. You know what I'm saying? As far as being his next signing, you know what I mean, or whatever. But he will get in the contract. He will be an Eagle, I would say, probably for the rest of his career. You know what I mean? Unless obviously down the end of the career, you know how people be going here and there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, nah. Like I said, nah. I don't think he has to be the MVP. I think he will get a contract extension, regardless. It would have to be. It would have to be. They would just had to lose all kinds of hope in him for him not to get an extension. So
Hmm.
he definitely gets one for sure. There
And
you
it's
have it.
yeah, he's going to get he's going to get his money. You're right. It's going to be is definitely going to be there. It's just a matter of time. And you and the hate is so real with this bull, man. I don't get it. I don't understand why the hate is so real with him. I don't know if it's because he's an Eagle and just the hate on Eagles is just high. I don't know. All I know is that the hate is real with this man, and all he does is win. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But regardless, that was some
Yeah.
extremely intriguing questions, Tone. Man, we appreciate those questions, the way that was given. And now it's time for Bird Game section. So, fantasy football season is amongst us right
Ooh.
now.
Yeah, people
And
drafted this past weekend, and this weekend's a big weekend, and then obviously the following weekend is going to be the biggest right before the season starts. But
that
yep,
shut down the whole server, like type of thing. Like everything is
yeah,
slow. You know, but you better have it in person because you're going to have a tough time trying to get everything done. But
right,
now, looking at the top players right now, like the top five. Let's say the top four players. So we got Bijan Robinson,
right.
Mr. Bijan. All right, Jameer
Gibbs,
Gibbs. Right. Next one,
I would say Jamar Chase.
he's fourth.
Mm-hmm. Who you
Third
got?
is
Who you got? Puka?
nah. Third, Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. So the consistency is with those four are the top four players, with Puka actually being in the top six. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen's the top quarterback. Depending on your strategy, you're going to either draft them early, like the second or third round, or you draft your quarterback late. Regardless, Josh Allen's your top choice. Lamar Jackson's after that, and Jaden Daniels is the third top rated fantasy football quarterback out there right now. So
Which is crazy.
extremely crazy.
Which
So
is crazy.
Bird Gang, who do you think that we as drafters need to avoid?
All right. So what I did was I took the first 5 rounds because the first five picks are extremely crucial to fantasy football. And in the first 5 rounds in the 12-man league, what I did was I picked the one player in each round where I said, whoa, why did this man go in the, for instance, the first round, top 12, and second round, top 24. And then I also put an alternate players or players that you could take in that round besides that player that I identified as someone going in that round that you probably should avoid. So instead of telling you who you should take, is for well, I am kind of giving you that or giving you a few options versus that player. So for instance, in round one player that I feel like that's going in round one, that you should possibly avoid with the options that are on the table is HN. So HN's at the
Mhm.
running back of Miami. They got a new coach, new offense, new quarterback. Mike McDaniel, sorry, went to the Chargers, and his offense was the offense that was specifically, the reason why he had, screen game, awesome player, but now you got so many questions marks. And on top of it, the main reason is if you go back and look at a mobile quarterback and a running back that gets his points out the backfield from receiving is definitely going to hurt him. You know what I mean? When you got a mobile quarterback. So that's the person where I identified in round 1 that seems to be going in top 12 or just outside the top 12. He's definitely in round 1. And you're passing up on a guy like Chase Brown that goes in after him in many drafts. Chase Brown's the 3-down back in Cincinnati. And, when these guys are healthy, whether he's healthy or not, he's turning in good seasons. And there's not a lot of change there, as far as like the personnel. And you know what you're going to get with Chase Brown. So that's an option in round 1. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Or if you got a different person that you want to put on there.
I definitely agree. And it's funny because I'm one that the big name that everybody goes with, every time I end up drafting them, something end up happening to them. Right. And the player that allowed me to win the multiple championships that I have won, the players that I actually had great success with, are the ones that either got later on in free agency, that the role got crazy towards the end of the year, or someone that was overlooked.
Right.
So I'll me personally, I will probably stay away from the Christian McCaffreys. Okay, every time I grabbed the Christian McCaffrey, I got burnt. When I picked up JJ, Mr. Jefferson from good old Minnesota, when I finally got a chance to actually draft him, he was hurt for half the season. And half the season in fantasy football, as you know, is almost the entire season.
So all I got from that, whoever you draft in the first round, don't draft that person because it might be you, Cat.
It may actually be me, but no, I think there's certain players, especially in the top 10, this year feels as though that they're kind of like home runs. No, I don't think you can go. I don't think you can go wrong. I think Puka is going to be productive this year.
Yeah, his only thing is going to be if the league's going to suspend him for what happened off the field during the offseason. But other than that, I think he's going to be fine. Obviously, you got Devontae Adams there, but you know what I mean. He'll be fine unless he gets suspended for it. Even if it's a 4-game, they're going drop it down to 2. They'll try to do all that thing. So even if it's 2 games, but what you get on the upside with Puka, putting up 2 touchdowns, 150 yards, you're not going to get that from. Some other top receivers are capable of doing that, but what you can get from them is nah, you better off taking him. That's the only reason why I got Chase ahead of him, is because of that that possible suspension for 2 or 3 games, 4 games, that definitely swung it into the favor of Chase.
Yeah, but I feel it. Now it's funny. Remember back in the day, and I'm old school fantasy football guy. Remember, one of the best things you can do if you can combine the quarterback with his wide receiver. You're doing something. You're gonna do whole lot of damage. And this year, there's not a whole lot of 1s and 2s that I would want to receivers with their quarterback.
So you talking
maybe
about
4,
you talking about handcuffing them.
Handcuffing them together. And there's not a whole lot of handcuffing I see. So that's something like this year I'll probably want to try to avoid. Because in actuality, if you get your hands on Josh Allen, what wide receiver are you going to go ahead and pick up?
DJ Moore.
Are you going to draft him early?
He's going in. I'm getting to it, Cat. He's on the list. He's in round 4 here. You get right through. Let's jump into round 2. Round 2. So HN and GNT. GNT's my next guy because he gets drafted at the tail end of 1 or the beginning of 2. Them 2 guys could flip flop, and you're passing up a guy like the Super Bowl MVP that's with a new team that just got a shitload of money. That's going to be on KC. That's going to be a little, gun shy with Patrick Mahomes until he gets, right with his leg. But they definitely use the running back off the screen and the stories that's coming out of camp, man. He's going to be great. And people are taking Ashton Genty over, Kenneth Walker. And I think Kenneth Walker is a great option that you can swing through that and, take him on. But I don't know if your thoughts on that, Genty. And that was before even the injury. So I'm not
I got
this
you.
is not injury like related. Like this is
Okay.
something that, like I know he just came up with an injury. So it's before that, that we were talking about it. So yep, definitely agree.
Absolutely. Yes, appreciate you, bro. Much love
Cheers.
to you, bro. We'll definitely holler at you next week. No, it's funny how things work. I definitely agree with you. And it's funny how certain names kind of get forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm pretty sure, especially when it comes to Kenneth Walker, they like they talk about the system. He's in a new system, and the system likes to pass the ball because it's Patrick Mahomes. No, they like Andy does like to run the ball, and more importantly, like you said, the screen game is extremely high when it comes to Andy Reid and that whole entire offense.
LaShawn McCoy, freaking Brian Westbrook, and this guy, and Kenneth Walker's 25 years old, bro. Can you be 26 there during the people don't think he's old or whatever, and he's not. But definitely that's round 2. I know we up against it with the time, so I'm trying to rattle these off. So round 3, someone that's getting drafted in round 3 and getting drafted, another running back getting drafted above these 2 other guys that I'm going to name right after him is the rookie out of Arizona. Love is getting drafted in round 3 over guys like Williams from the Rams and Josh Jacobs out of Green Bay. So this is another guy where you're looking at these two guys that obviously, and specifically for me, Williams, and I know Blake Corum's also there, but I think Williams is going, they're just going to be up a lot in games with being as though that they loaded up on their defense, and they're going to get a lot more runs and time on the field. And then Green Bay, man, this is someone that scored. I think he scored something like crazy, like eight or 9 consecutive games with a touchdown. Josh Jacobs or something like that, where he either had a receiving or a rushing touchdown. So you're taking in round 3 Love, and I get the whole upside, and this guy's supposed to be good. But in addition to that, you got a team that has also signed Algier, also has Connor there. Like it's just too much going on there for me to take someone like Jeremiah Love in round 3, and you guys like Williams and Jacobs there. So I don't know your thoughts on that one, or you like the rookie in round 3.
So, in this case, isn't Josh Jacobs still possibly getting suspended?
They like I said, Williams first. I would take personally Williams first.
Okay,
But I still would take Josh Jacobs over Love.
Now, my only question would be when it comes to Williams is the man is known to fumble the ball, man. He's a fumbler. And, you can't always rely on – the one thing I can rely on with him is that he's going to cough up the ball eventually. And that could be the make or break thing. Because of us not knowing what's going on with Love yet, the hype is high on him. That's probably why people is grabbing him. Me personally, I would probably grab Love with the opportunity of the offense got nobody else except for him, and hope that he would actually be able to pull these numbers. You know what I mean? That's the only hope I will have, because I can't rely on Marvin Harrison. I can't rely on who's the quarterback. Exactly. I can't rely on their quarterback. I can't rely on nobody else. Exactly. I can't rely on nobody else on that team except for him. You know what I mean? So that would be my reason of why I would probably go with Love over those other 2, because the suspension is and because of the fumbling issue from Williams. But that's the only reason why I would pick them over.
Right. And I wish you were in my league so you could take Love and I'll take Williams.
No problem.
So you got any comments on those, or you gonna jump in around 4?
Um, I first off, I ain't no fantasy guru like that. I don't look into any rounds or players. I just pick whoever the fuck is the best at that point. You know what I'm saying? Who I think gonna help my squad
Right.
out. You know what I mean? Like I don't. Sorry, I don't go into it. You know what I mean? Like y'all
Mm-hmm.
dudes do to look at the this and the that, this and
Mm-hmm.
that. As far as the rookie
Sorry, bro.
running back, so the rookie running back, I look at it like just like Genty last year. He didn't crack 1,000
Mhm.
yards. He was with a bad
That's what I'm
team.
saying.
Had a bad running back. So the rookie running back's probably not real heavy to draft. Yeah, they're gonna start. They're gonna get a lot of playing time, but the production might not be there because of what's on the field. I think that's how I also look at it too, man. Like if you got a shitty quarterback, I don't want you as a running back because they gonna put eight in the box, and you're gonna have to work very very hard to get your stats. The best players to get is whoever has a balanced quarterback, balanced running back. Then the whole offense can, you know, be explosive, and you can pick, different people on that team, man. So that's my science behind any fantasy draft that I've ever in. I look at the teams that's in their play, how their play is going to be. Like I said, if you got a decent, like for instance, Kenneth Walker from KC, he probably going to rip it up this year
I think he
because
gonna
of
go crazy,
because
bro.
of who his
They
quarterback
paid
is.
him. Yeah,
It's
it's
just
going.
because of who his quarterback. You can't put eight in the box, or Mahomes going to cook you. And then once Mahomes
Mhm.
start cooking you, you're only going to have just the regular people in the box, and then that's when Kenneth Walker is going to cook you. So the better the quarterback, the better the running back. I would say the draft, and then of course with the better quarterback, how better the receivers are going to be as far as getting you points. So that's my strategy right there in a nutshell, bro. I don't do nothing. I write shit down. You know what I mean? Certain players, while I'm in the draft, they get taken. I X out that motherfucker that is the next up. Like so, like that's that's it, man.
So round 4, player identified McMillan, the receiver from Carolina, and
Uh-huh.
just like Tone said, Young is not a quarterback that I trust. And people
Hmm.
are passing up on guys like Lad McConkey and Buka, DJ Moore, and Waddle. And that's a sneaky handcuff, Bo Nix and Waddle. I know we were just talking about the handcuff before. That will be a sneaky handcuff because you would get that quarterback Bo Nix late, and they're the top
Hmm.
team with passing attempts. So that's a sneaky one. But McMillan, not that I don't believe in his talents, I just don't believe in the consistent quarterback play. And then this is also a team that is still trying to find their identity, and the quarterback's unsure still and stuff like that. So these are guys that I identified, and you got, to Tone's point, you got Jay Herbert throwing to McConkey. You got, I mean, look, it's freaking. I know it's deep. I know Tone wouldn't like it, but you got Josh Allen throwing to DJ Moore. You got Bo Nix throwing to Waddle, and then you got what you call down in Tampa throwing to Mbuka. So it's Baker Mayfield. So you got quarterback play that's a little more consistent than Bryce
Hmm.
Young. So I don't know your thoughts on McMillan though, if you like him or not.
I'll let you go first, Tom. I was going first the whole time, so you got it.
McMillan. Tone already told you
Ah,
with
yeah,
his
I
answer.
don't. I don't have no. I have no sign. I probably wouldn't draft McMillan to be honest with you. Like just, I mean, unless
Right.
he's up and I have no receivers, maybe. But nah,
Yep.
I don't know. The
Nah.
floor is yours. The floor is yours, Cat.
So yeah, no problem. I would not draft. I would not draft him that high, especially when I see Mr.
Fourth round.
McConkey there.
Round
Like
4.
I'm not, or or
Yeah.
or more. Like I
And Waddle.
trust. Yeah, like I
That's what I'm saying.
no,
These are
like
4 guys that are being taken after.
which is crazy, which is
Yes.
absolutely crazy. I don't understand it. Now I think they're being picked first because of auto picking. Because the system is just stupid, and
Now
people
they
want
probably they
to pay
probably
all this
they
money being in
probably
this leagues.
is he a starter?
Who?
McMillan.
McMillan,
McMillan.
yeah. He's the
He
top
wa- he
Mm,
receiver.
top.
He's the top receiver in Carolina. He had a decent year last
There you
year.
go. There you go. That's all. Listen, man. There's no science behind. I think any like with these stats that they put out with these players.
mhm,
People would take the gamble on a person that's going to have more targets than a guy who's going to be probably more productive. You look at McMillan,
Right.
his chances are probably higher to do better than the four people that's getting drafted after him because of what's on the other people's teams. You know what I mean? Like you take Bo Nix. Who else does he have to throw to in Denver besides what now Waddle,
Sutton,
right?
Cortland
So
Sutton.
so so so
Very
so
something.
you think about it like and you already know he's been working with him. They got a connection. And Sutton is a decent receiver. So I think with the way those picks be and how they're measured is because of the opportunity that the players get versus, like I said, the production. That's probably
Hmm.
all of what it really is. Is just looking at McMillan probably got a higher target rate than some of those guys. So it's like you think the production is going to be there. But I mean, fantasy, that's what the fuck it is, yo. It's a fantasy. We don't know how these players are going to perform. You don't know what these people are going to do. It's a stab in the dark. It's you hope they do well, and you hope they
Right.
all do well on the week that you got them in the game. So, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's
There you go, man.
So,
definitely a
yo,
shot in the dark.
but here we go, Tones. So to kind of go with with your strategy. So you're also tempted by last year's stats or last year like situation of a player, right? So Waddle last year, in the last number of years, was not the number one, especially when he was playing with Tariq Hill. You know what I mean? So, Hill was always going to be, in our eyes, the number one. Waddle was always number two. Now he goes over to Denver. He's now going to be their number one. So I think people are still looking at what he was compared to what he is now. And I think that's what it is. You're going by the like, oh, he's a starter, he's the number one, he's the number one wide receiver over there. Then boom, I'm going with the one from Carolina instead of Denver. Because the one from Denver was the number two last year. And then Mr. Lad McConkey, my man there, is the third option because he's mostly the slot receiver. But in actuality, he's like their number one. But if you guys going by the numbers instead of looking at the actual sport itself, you would think that he's just the number three, so therefore he's not going to have the numbers. So, like you said, it has to do with obviously it's pure fantasy and it's a guessing game. Throw something in the dark and hopefully something sticks. But like those type of players, you can tell the people don't really watch the sport as much to know the production of some of those other players and the moves that happen.
Yep. All right, and the last one, round 5, and sorry, man, because I know his dad's a Philadelphia native, but Marvin Harrison Jr. I will not be drafting him in round 5 when you got guys like C.J. Watson or Parker Washington that are going after him. Where Parker Washington has Trevor Lawrence throwing to him, and you got
Hmm.
Love throwing to Watson, and they're both number ones as well. So it's like, for whatever reason, but those are the 5 guys that I would like to stay away from in the drafts. Round 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. GNT, Etienne, Love, McMillan, and Marvin Harrison Jr. So don't draft those guys. Better options out there.
Especially not Marvin Harrison Jr. right now. I don't think he forgot how to catch.
Well, the thing is,
He
too,
forgot how to
in
catch.
in these drafts, you got round 5 and 6. Between round 5 and 6, you got him going, and then you got the other receiver that what's his name freaking Wilson is getting drafted exactly like 10 spots later. So it's like you clearly got options. You don't know who's going to get the ball, and then this is also a team with Trey McBride, one of the top tight ends that's going to eat a
Hmm.
lot of way, from the catches and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. These are 5 guys that I've been identifying in drafts, and I'm like, damn, like I hope they take them right away so they could just leave somebody right there for me because these are guys that I'm clearly not targeting on any of my drafts. So anybody that's seeing this that I will be drafting with on Saturday, you got some intel for me, but hopefully you can prove me wrong and take these guys.
Yo, like in my opinion, that deep into the draft, 5th round, I'm definitely looking at my tight ends because I already am at least the objective is to make sure I got my running back. I got a good wide receiver. And hopefully I can snag another running back or another good wide receiver. So with that being said, I'm already like like 2 wide receivers in, or 1 running back in at least. You know what I mean? So now when it gets to like round 4 and 5, all right, I need a monster tight end. I need one that's going to give me numbers. So I'm going to be looking at the Bowers. I'm going to be looking at, well, later on, you probably look at Kelsey, because what round's Kelsey probably going in, like round 6?
Nah, he's going later than that. But
Okay.
the draft that I was just looking at in comparison to this, to speak to your point, Tucker Kraft is there from Green Bay. He's being taken after Marvin Harrison Jr. So that's someone that
crazy.
I was just trying to give you an option, since it was a receiver, give you a receiver options. Same thing with the running backs. I was trying to just lateral it. But there's even with the running backs that I identified that you should stay away from, I was just giving you the running back as an alternate if you wanted to take a running back. But there's even a wide receiver or possibly a tight end that you would want to take over the guys that I mentioned.
Gotcha. Yeah, so it's stay with your strategy. If you have a strategy, stay with your strategy, know the strategy, and just go with the strategy. And you will usually end up being okay. But yeah, there's certain players that we stay away from.
Injuries happen. And then injuries goes out the window.
Your whole starting lineup dead. Like, no.
Yo, my best thing of the draft, right? This is my biggest pet peeve, and I don't know if you guys like after you drafted. So you got everyone that immediately, and I can't even remember when Yahoo and ESPN started doing this. It was years ago, but they immediately give you a report card of how you drafted, and everyone's right away like, "Yo, what you get on your draft? I got an A, bro. I got to say everyone." And you see, so my thing be like, bro, like mathematically, like, so like you start breaking this shit down, and I'm like, bro, like obviously, like if you sat there and not obviously you drafted good players and all that, but the the system is taking into account that you have like some people like there's been times I will only draft 1 quarterback or 1 tight end. And then knowing that, all right, my quarterback, like if I'm drafting like Josh Allen, there's no way possible I'm benching this guy. So if I take Josh Allen, I'm probably not drafting a backup running back, quarterback, and I'm going to load up on a different position. But it's like, yo, like when they're doing the report cards, they're factoring in that if you got a backup tight end, a backup defense, a backup, like they're factoring that in. So they're building the report card like, all right, well, this team, as of right now, as is constructed, because you got a person to plug in for your bye weeks, you're going to get rated higher and you're going to get a better grade than the person that doesn't have a backup quarterback or a backup tight end. So it'd just be funny as hell to me.
Yeah, man. Especially like I'm one of those people too. Like I stunk my grade. Like I know I drafted good. Why I gotta see? I don't know why I gotta see. I drafted good. Look at my team. And then week 3, I got 3 hurt starters. No.
Yep.
Anyway.
Or you draft somebody that's on IR too. That's another one that it takes into account. So if you take someone like what is it, Charbonnet from Seattle, and you're trying to stash them, then that's going to count against your grade, So then people be like, "All right, you got a D-, you're gonna be trash," and then they give you a whole elaborate summary like you're gonna be like 3-13.
Right.
Yeah, that John do be funny, man. Like, you want to get a good grade, you know what I'm saying, after drafting a squad. But that should be all assumptions, you know what I'm saying?
I guarantee you.
I don't think anybody who got a fucking A won the championship.
That's what I was gonna say. No. It never happens.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
So you could take that with a grain of salt when you first see that at the beginning of the year, because you still got to play the games, man. You still got to play. Well, you're not even playing it.
You gotta make the right plays. Yeah,
you got to go out there and put the right people in the game, because how many weeks have we lost because we had somebody on the bench that went crazy just this one time, and it could have been something that you was going back and forth with, like, damn, should I play this person or not? And then you sitting there, I knew I should have played him. He had the best game of his life. Like, so yeah, man, fantasy is crazy, yo. Fantasy is crazy.
Right. People being that 0-2, 0-3 start, that is the end of the world. September was horrible.
Well, we already
Playing
know
catch up.
somebody who was in the league that y'all was in, who team started out corny, and then he didn't even pay the league fee, right?
Ooh, shots fired. I'm not even getting into that one.
Like I said, I'm glad I wasn't in that league that year, but yeah, I know y'all. I think y'all both were, right?
Yo, the pot ended up being a little
Yeah, being
short.
light, yeah,
A little
he,
short.
yeah, he would have been a
I
little
was
short
like,
too. Yeah, like yo,
bro,
that was whack. That was corny. That was
listen,
corny.
man. Listen. The one thing is for sure, fantasy football brings out the type of person people really are. Like when it comes down
Facts.
to some shit, like you start like really like learning like about people and how they move. You know, with like
Yeah.
little sneaky things they try to do or something like that. That one is just crazy because obviously I know what you're talking about. We all work together, and then we're all in the league, and just because your team was trash, and you got to come to work every single day and see these people, and you just walking with your head down. And to add insult to injury, he's a Commanders fan, so that should set it all right there.
He probably, you know what I've been thinking about? He's probably a Sixers fan now too,
Man,
and probably has been that since AI was there. He'll say he's been a Sixers fan since AI.
okay. Hopefully he
Okay.
pays. Hopefully he pays to watch him.
He ain't playing.
Knowing
Nah,
him, probably
probably
not.
not.
Probably not.
Probably
Knowing him.
not.
Oh man.
Probably not. But anyway, peoples, that's episode 148. For the ones that's still here, the ones that's going to be watching later, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That's how we grow. That's how this channel gets larger, and that's how we get those larger events to happen when it comes to us going outside, because it's about to happen real soon, and I'm excited about it, man. We're about to go outside for these games. It's going to be a good time, so we cannot wait for all that to go down. But episode 148 is officially in the books. It's time to close this thing out. Bird Gang, what you got for the people?
Now, thank you guys for tuning in. And again, listen, I'll try to help you guys out. Don't shoot the messenger. Rounds 1 through 5, I gave you my picks to stay away from these guys and come away with the championship. Bird Gang, checking out. Thank you for tuning in.
Yo, you already know, man. It's the promoter here, man. Thank you y'all for tuning in to another episode, GNT Sports Talk, episode 148. We'll be back next week around the same time. So make sure y'all tap in, hit them notification buttons, man, on YouTube so y'all can know when we going live or whenever time we post any content, man. So tap in, GNT Sports Talk. We'll see y'all next week, 8 o'clock, episode 149. Let's get it. But wait. This Saturday. Got something going on downtown, man, down 30th and Walnut. There's a show called Laugh the Pain Away that I curate, man, with my man Ken Jones. We got a show this Saturday, August 29th at 8 o'clock at World Stage Live. Is Wear All Blue Day. And it's actually celebrating some birthdays of the people that's connected and affiliated with Laugh the Pain Away. My birthday was this past Monday. So come out, man, have a shot with your boy, man. Celebrate 45 years of me being on this earth, man. So I appreciate y'all. Laugh the Pain Away this Saturday at World Stage Live, 8 o'clock. Tickets are still available. Follow me on IG. Tap the link in my bio. I'll see y'all Saturday night, man. The promoter signing out. Let's get it.
Back like MJ weighing the 4-5. So
Hey, guys, IG family, we appreciate y'all. YouTube family, we appreciate y'all. Cannot wait to go ahead and share the good news with y'all coming up real soon. But I think that is it for us. I think we are good for tonight. God bless every single one of y'all. We appreciate every single one of y'all as well. Until next time, next week, or next drop of information on IG, much love. We out. Peace.